Triple H flip-flopping on Brock Lesnar. So this is something we didn't particularly really touch on too much on SummerSlam, our review show on Monday that came out on Tuesday. Discussing Brock Lesnar, but, we have Airstrip 1 style double speak here. Triple H claimed one thing, then immediately, when contradicted, said the opposite. And then, hey, we never said that kind of thing.
Wait a minute. You mean he didn't say when he was backed into a corner, and I'm sorry to interrupt, when he's backed into a corner about the Brock Lesnar thing, he didn't just say, enjoy the show. Enjoy this. What does that mean? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear. The post-SummerSlam talking segment, because they got rid of the press conferences, Triple H said how great it was to have Brock Lesnar back in WWE, standard stuff. We did mention that on the Monday show, or when we recorded it on Monday. But he also said that John Cena gets to call the shots in regard to who he is working with. I believe he said that at the same press conference. Now, this directly contradicted an earlier interview that John Cena gave, where he claimed, John Cena claimed, he was a team player and was not in charge of how WWE were going to handle his retirement tour. This was then followed by another quote from John Cena regarding Brock Lesnar's return, and if he requested it. Now, this is after, I think this came out after Triple H said it, they deal him, I play him. He's basically saying, well, I don't make the shots. This is a TKO, WWE, Triple H, The Rock, whoever, Ari Emanuel, blah, blah, Mark Shapiro, whoever, Nick Khan, whoever's calling the shots there. So that directly contradicts what Triple H just said, trying to pass the buck to John Cena, that actually was John Cena who requested Brock Lesnar in. John Cena said that twice, before and after now.
That's quite the hot potato we're passing around, isn't it? That was great. You talk about throat cutting in the most friendly way possible. That's what we're watching here. No, you brought him back. No, you wanted him back. No, you don't know me. Still got to watch that.
Earlier today, and this is a quote from Michael Cole. So back on Monday, I should say, WWE Raw, Michael Cole gives this really weird piece to camera, right? Which they never film stuff like this, or never, present stuff like this, unless somebody's died. But Michael Cole, at the commentary table, looks into the camera and says, earlier today, I had the opportunity to sit down with WWE President Nick Khan and WWE's Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque. I asked them a simple question. When was it determined that Brock Lesnar would return to WWE? They told me they reached out to Brock a number of weeks ago and said, we believe it's time for you to come home. Brock Lesnar said, let's do it, and here we are. Okay, so it was John Cena, and now it definitely was Triple H and Nick Khan. But only after, John Cena contradicted him twice in different interviews.
I know what I know about Brock. I think the first answer to when they said, we believe it's time for you to come home, Brock said, how much are you paying me? I know they sat him home with pay. He probably renegotiated his deal. He's smart with that stuff, man.
Yeah, he's probably saying it's probably time to earn that $15 million or whatever you earned. You didn't earn but got paid while sat home. Brock Lesnar is the number 1, 2, and 3 top merchandise sellers over the weekend now.
Really?
WWE. Oh yeah.
Was Kross in the top 3 up until SummerSlam?
He was there for a while, but this is something that we also didn't say on the Monday show, but Stevie definitely guessed it absolutely correctly, is that Karrion Kross, after losing to Sami Zayn in short order at SummerSlam, and you said, Stevie, he's probably on the way out, I know how this works. And then within 24 hours, I think it was like Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp said, yeah, it's looking like the contract's up this weekend, and WWE are not opting to renew it so far.
Yeah, these people are not hard to figure out with this. He's putting people over on his way out. He has a gimmick, and it's selling so many shirts and being the number 1 or the top 3 for weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're not pushing the guy. He's doing a live interview, and they're cheering him when he says the words in that promos, the old WWF style, where he was actually out, they were up on the concourse with the fans behind him, was really done well. And when he said the word killer, somewhere in context to that, the people knew Killer Kross and erupted. And I watched it. I think I said to you, that's the beginning of the end.
Turns out it was pretty much the end of the end. In that case we don't know yet. He might still get re-signed. Okay. I'm going to give you a quote from Lance Storm. You mentioned him before, so I'll mention him again. This is on Wrestling Observer Live. Lance Storm responded by people saying that they were looking at the whole Brock Lesnar situation wrong. I think everyone's looking at it from the wrong perspective. I don't think it's about Brock. I think it being WWE and TKO bringing Brock back is about the working environment of women within WWE. Under Vince McMahon, there was a very unfavourable, bad, pick-your-own-word work environment for women, dating back to Rita Chatterton, to the objectivity of women with bra and panties matches and thongathons and puppies, the very handsy make-out sessions that women had to do with Vince McMahon. Take that forward to whatever necessitated Vince to offer multi-million-dollar NDAs to women to stay silent, to what we learned about Janelle Grant. He didn't mention Ashley Mazzaro, by the way, but we always got to mention Ashley. Women were drastically underpaid in that era too, and Vince was removed. And Hunter, Triple H, has made things so much better. Women are making way more money. Women are legitimate stars. Women aren't objectified like they used to be. Women can wear non-revealing outfits, if they so choose anyway, a lot of them still do, and still be big stars. So to me, whether you bring Brock back or not, or anyone else back or not, to me you need to ask the question, does this support your move to improve and make a respectful, safe environment for women in your company, or does it detract from that and make it feel like you're going backwards? Because I think if you just look at each individual case, did this person do something that's really worth that? Was this one instance? It's not about the individual instances, it's about the overall message you send to women who work for you and in your company about the environment they are going to have to perform in. And I think you have to look at it from the women's standpoint and whether they will be in favour of something or not. So what do you make of Lance Storm's take on things?
Well, I know somebody else that isn't getting a Legends deal after that quote. Or maybe he is because he put Triple H over. Everything he says, it's true. It's that this is a much more of a 10,000 foot view of everything. And what's the environment like? And I can't speak on that. I don't know if Brock is just separated from the women or there's other things going on or everybody's separated in a way or there's a legitimate HR department that's at every show or somebody representing HR. There was HR when I was there, but you're not going to them because they'll stooge you right off the vents and you'll be gone.
Ashley Mazzaro, once again.
Ashley Mazzaro. We can never not mention her name when it comes to especially stuff like this. It's a heavy enough atmosphere. I think even Unreal. There were plenty of things that were fake and unreal, but the real thing that I felt was the heavy environment, walking on eggshells. Everybody has to play nice and do whatever, but it wasn't the political environment where everybody had to respect each other. It was the political pecking order environment where these people up here are better people, therefore you deserve to be treated like crap. I don't know how those mix up with this new generation of looking at it more corporately, remember TKO, we talked about, they just don't care. They brought Brock back for a certain reason. It's obviously TKO because Hunter and John Cena are both passing that hot potato, so it could be corporate that just wants to bring him back. We're paying him $15 million or whatever a year. Let's return our investment. Plus, Gunther's going away, so here comes Brock. Maybe when Gunther comes back, Brock goes away. Do you see the revolving door of returns? So I don't know. They're going to do whatever they want. Who's going to boycott? Has there ever been? If you were going to boycott WWE, it would have been during the Vince McMahon, the Janelle Grant, the NDAs, the sex trafficking, all that stuff. Nobody, like I said, they held kids up at SmackDown. They don't care.
Hey, you know why Vince McMahon went? Is because Slim Jim threatened to pull out if Vince McMahon wasn't removed. That was the second time.
Slim Jim is the voice of the voiceless.
Yes, it is. And the table of they're on tables.
The table of the tables. Slim Jim is the table, Botchamania.
One more thing as well, because I want to give, and you won't hear me say this a lot, Dave Meltzer his due, because off the cuff, he guessed exactly how many impressions WWE would get with the Brock Lesnar return news. 75 million. He plucked that out of thin air, and he was exactly right, amazingly. And WWE, how they would handle the WWE news by showing a bunch of podcast reactors on television in short snippets, which they do, which also annoys me.
Oh, man, my little, theory mind is going right now. Could you imagine all this time? Now, Dave Meltzer's been called the greatest worker ever in the wrestling business. Al Snow has coined that phrase. What if all along Dave Meltzer has been working for WWE and been a double agent and getting into good graces of AEW and burned WWE on purpose, but giving them all the information from Tony. It sounds ridiculous, but man, those are the deep, dark special ops that like people like Ben Hameen love.
There's also AEW, in that lawsuits with that guy from 2023, the production guy who John Moxley pushed over. AEW submitted in court a redacted document which redacted the owners of AEW. It's through Beatnik something or other LLC, who owns AEW, but they redacted the owners. And now there's a conspiracy theory that there's some weird owners that we don't know about, and one of them said it must be Dave Meltzer's one of them, which it isn't going to be Dave Meltzer. But I thought that was funny.
What if one of the owners is Vince McMahon?
That would be unbelievable, or Shane McMahon or something.
Well, Shane just met with him not too long ago.
Yeah, but he sent him packing soon afterwards. I think so. I don't know. I'd be interested to know who the real true owners are of AEW, but we think it's probably Tony. It could be his sister. It could be his dad, Shad. And Warner Brothers Discovery, we believe, owns a portion of it as well. So
I would love if Tony came out next time and go, "You're all the owners of AEW," and I was like, "Thank you for being a friend of the show, Tony Khan."
Excellent.